Are you tired of overpriced and overcrowded RV parks? I'm going to tell you how you can join us out here in this episode of Travels with Delaney. Welcome back, everyone. My name's Patrick, and if this is your first time at Travels with Delaney, welcome. We're your channel all about RVing and living life to the fullest. So if you're like us and you get tired of commercial campgrounds that charge way too much and they pack you in way too tight, sometimes we just like to go out and get off the grid. And so today I'm standing here in the Teton National Forest, and that's the Grand Tetons right behind me. And this is an absolutely free place to camp. However, when you come here, there is no water, there is no sewer, and there is no electric. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about, can you boondock with your RV and how you can do it. So there's going to be three things you're going to be missing. Again, there's going to be no electric to plug into, there's going to be no water to hook up to, and there's no place to drain your black or gray tanks. So let's break them down one at a time in how you can deal with it so that you can get this gorgeous campsite for free. So when you're boondocking, you're not going to need this because, well, there's nothing to plug into out here. So the question becomes, how do you run items in your trailer? Now, most RVs are set up with a 12-volt system. That means you're going to have at least one battery on your trailer, and in many cases, you may have multiple batteries. Now, what typically runs off of those batteries is going to be things like your lights, your water pump, your television, your radio, just some real basic things. It's also going to be used to fire up your propane furnace. And if you have USB plugs in there, you're still going to be able to charge your devices off the 12-volt system. Now, most trailers will come with at least one lead acid battery. Now, a lot of times those aren't going to last you very long because lead acid batteries can only be ran down to about 50%, and it seems like a lot of dealerships put in pretty small batteries, usually less than 100 amp hours, many times 70 or less. That means you're only going to get somewhere between 35 and 50 amp hours, but that may be enough to run those basic essentials that you're going to need, like your water pump and your lights. Our brand new Lance actually had a place for 2 batteries, and we're currently running 2 lithium batteries. But here's the thing, you don't need to go out and change your batteries out to lithium to go out and try boondocking. In fact, when we first started boondocking, we were just using one lead acid battery, and that did us fine to get us started to find out whether we even really liked boondocking. Now, eventually you're going to need to recharge your battery or batteries, and so the question becomes, how do you do that? Well, there's a couple different ways you can do that. Now, if you're just boondocking for one night and then you're planning on traveling, when you plug into your tow vehicle, you're going to get some charge off of your tow vehicle, which is going to help to put some charge back into those batteries. The other more popular options for boondockers are solar, and again, you don't have to invest a lot of money. Our original solar setup was a system from Harbor Freight that I think I paid about $120 for, and it actually got us through that first summer. Now we're actually using rooftop solar on our Lance. Now we currently have 190 watts, and so far on this trip, our batteries have never gotten below 85%, which is great. But many trailers already come with a solar port somewhere on the trailer, and so you can purchase what's known as a portable solar panel. That way you don't have to go to all the effort of installing it on your trailer. You can just plug it right into that port, position that solar panel to wherever the sun is, and that's going to help put a charge back into your batteries during the day. Now, those portable solar panels will vary in price. I've seen them as low as a couple $100 up to several $100s. The key is to make sure you get enough solar that you'll actually be able to charge your batteries back up. And we started with 100 watts, now we're closer to 200, and that's working for us. A third option is to carry a generator with you. Now, we have the Harbor Freight Predator 3500 watt that we carry with us when we go camping. Now, I can fire this up, plug the trailer into it, and then the battery charger in the trailer will actually start to charge our batteries back up. Now, I have a video on this, which I'll link up top for you. You can also go over to Long Long Honeymoon. They have a whole bunch of videos on different type of generators that you might consider if you're looking at buying a generator to go RVing. Finally, on electrical, you may be wondering, what about things that don't run off the battery, and can I run them when I'm boondocking? And the answer is yes, you probably can. The way you would do that is you would use an inverter. Now, we had a 2,000 watt inverter installed in our lamps, and we're able to run things like our microwave, our coffee maker, our hair dryer, and even our sweeper. But what it won't run is it's not going to run the air conditioner. So if you're going to be boondocking and it's really hot and you think you're going to need your air conditioner, the best solution would be to actually use a generator. Now, the key with generators is you want to make sure that you're not disturbing other campers, but when you're out here by yourself, it's not really an issue. And if you are staying in parks that have generator sections of the park, typically they have hours that you're allowed to run them, such as from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Make sure when you're picking out a generator, you look for one that's low on the noise level, just so you're not so disrupted if there are other people in the area. Now let's move on to water. Oh, that's right. There's no water hookup out here. Hey, no problem. So our Lance has a 45-gallon freshwater tank on board. So if you know you're going boondocking, you're going to want to fill up your freshwater tank. Now, your pump will run off the 12-volt battery, so just make sure you conserve water while you're out boondocking. So we do things like we make sure we take shorter showers. We do things like try to only wash dishes once a day, and that will help to conserve water. Now, as far as drinking water, we typically just bring jug water or bottles of water, and that will also help save that 45 gallons that's in our freshwater tank. Now, sticking with that water theme, we have no sewer, which means we're not going to be able to dump our black or our gray tanks. But it's the same philosophy with the freshwater that goes along with your black and gray tanks. Now, we don't really have an issue with this trailer because we have 45 gallons gray and 45 gallons black. But our prior trailer, our New Camp Tab 400, had an 18-gallon gray and a 12-gallon black. So we really had to conserve our water usage when we were out boondocking. And again, it's short showers, washing dishes once a day, looking for ways to minimize the amount of water that you're putting into either your gray tank or your black tank. I can tell you though, if you're willing to make the effort, you can conserve water and get through several days depending on the size of your tanks. Once you're done boondocking and you leave your site, you're going to need to find some place to empty your tanks. Now, we use the All Stays app and Campendium app to find dump stations. Now, they range from places that you can dump for free to places where you can pay, and typically $5 to $10 is the normal cost to empty your tanks. And many of those locations will also have potable water so you can fill your fresh tank back up and you can get back out on the road boondocking. Boondocking or dry camping doesn't always mean coming out here to the middle of nowhere. It could be at a Walmart or a Cracker Barrel. It might even be at a Harvest Toast. Oh, you're not familiar with Harvest Toast? I'll link that video up here for you. But we love it because, again, many times it will save us money, it will provide us space, and it's just so much more peaceful being able to do it. How do you find places? Well, again, use those apps like Campendium and All Stays, and you will be able to find public lands and even parks that just don't have hookups. And so many of these are a lot less cheaper, provide a lot more space, and a lot more peace while you're camping. One option that we love when boondocking is dispersed camping, and that's basically government land where they say, go find a spot and camp. But in some areas, like here in the Teton National Forest, their dispersed camping is defined. It means they've set aside spots specifically for campers to camp. Make sure you follow the rules and only camp where it's designated. Unfortunately, we had some campers over in that field last night that were not in a designated area, and word on the forestry road this morning is they were fined. So make sure where you're camping that it's safe and legal for you to be camping. Also, make sure when you're boondocking or dry camping, be good stewards of the land. Whether you're here on national forest land or whether you're at a Walmart, a Cracker Barrel, or Harvest Toast, always clean up after yourself. Leave the area in better shape than when you arrived, and make sure if you are at a location where there's people, thank them for allowing you this opportunity to have this amazing camping experience. It's possible that boondocking is just not for you, and honestly, that's okay. If you prefer a campsite or an RV park with full hookups, there's nothing wrong with that. This is really for somebody who just prefers to get out away from the crowds and have a little more nature in their camping experience. But regardless of what type of camping you do, it doesn't matter as long as you're having a good time. If you've never boondocked before, but you're thinking this might be for you, I recommend starting off slow. Go out and sleep in your trailer overnight at your house and see how you do. Or maybe go to a local park that doesn't have hookups and give it a try. Then if you really enjoy it and you think this is something you want to do, then you can progress and look at how to maximize your systems. You can begin looking at, do I have the right batteries? Do I need solar? Do I need a generator? But don't rush out and buy all that stuff till you know whether you really will enjoy this type of camping. Let me know down in the comments if you dry camp or boondock, and if you haven't and you're thinking about it, what's holding you back? Till next time, everybody, we'll see you on down the road. Good night.